All aboard. Welcome back to Fulani Channel TV. I'm going to make a quick one today. I'm going to make it real quick. Now listen, today is the 29th of October 2021. If this is your first time coming to my channel, please click that red subscribe button and click that bell icon on the side so that anytime I drop a video, it'll come to you. For those of you who have subscribed to my channel, I want to say thank you. And may God continue to bless you in anything that you do, anything you lay your hands on. May God multiply and bless you. As we go along, please continue to pray for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, like I always say. Pray for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the lawyers, because a lot is in the kitchen, a lot is cooking. A lot is cooking above and under. Yes. We got the Allen group. We have Bruce Fame, and we have Kalunta and his group, which is Aloy Ejimako, and in the UK, and they're working assiduously trying to put Buhari down.
And welcome to this, not only to our Facebook Live, this also will eventually become a podcast. You know, there's so many things going on in the world today, and it's so fast-paced, it's just hard to keep up with all the critical stories that people need to be aware of. We talk about the persecution of Christians in different areas around the world. And what we want to do is, with philosopher and constitutional law expert Bruce Fine, is bring into focus what is really going on in the country of Nigeria. What we're about to share with you that's going on in the country of Nigeria, where almost 50 million people could lose their lives, is just going to blow you away. And Nigeria, believe it or not, Nigeria has become the most dangerous place for Christians in the world. And you're asking, what did he just say? Yes. Nigeria has become the most dangerous place for Christians in the world. Bruce Fine, who was there recently, who spent time there, has come back with a startling report. This is his first interview, and we're breaking news here. Bruce, tell us what you saw and what is actually going on. Because when we think of Nigeria, we think of Boko Haram and the kidnapping of children, but it's much more deep and much more pervasive than what we know.
And not only that, but just in terms of the numbers. For example, when I was there recently, even before my arrival, in the northern Nigerian states, and you've got to remember, 12 of those states have Sharia laws enshrined as their legal code. It's just not advisory. It is the legal code, you know, cut off hands and stoning women and that kind of thing. But in these 12 northern states, there was a youth group. It gave a quit order to 11 million Biafrans who reside and have businesses there, saying, if you don't leave your home and business by October 1, we will destroy you. And the government did nothing. These are Housi Fulani, radical Islamics who made the threat. As we're sitting here today, that October 1st date hangs like a sword of Damocles over 11 million Christian Biafrans. That's twice who perished in the Holocaust. Moreover, in the southeast, where the Biafrans predominate numerically, the Housi Fulani are killing children in churches. Just in the last 48 hours, they've begun an assault. It's called Operation Python Dance, where the Housi Fulani soldiers are coming in. They're taking youths. I could put pictures if you had. They've sent to me. They've shot them. They're lying down dead in the water in industrial scale. And this is because the Housi Fulani, who are very, if you want to put an accurate term, almost backward economically. And the Biafrans are much more educated and skilled economically, so they prosper. And they reside in much of the oil area of Nigeria. And the Housi Fulani, who are radical Islamists, youths who have very little, economically, they're preying on their Christian brethren. And the government is doing nothing. In fact, it's participating with the military.
Are you telling me that the
there.
president of Nigeria has become a sympathizer to this, where you actually can go into religious gatherings, churches, and you can just kidnap and kill innocent people?
With impunity.
With impunity, and they say and do nothing?
They do not. For example, I am a lawyer. I'm suing 16 members of the armed forces. We can't sue President Buhari because he's got immunity, because they have gone in and slaughtered and killed Christian Igbos. It's a pending lawsuit in the U.S. District Court in the District of Columbia, and there's no sanctions. There's no punishment for any of these members of the armed forces. Boko Haram is tiny compared. You're talking about hundreds. We're talking about millions here.
Forget about the government. Why is there not an outcry from the people in the community? Why is there not an outcry from people who care, who know some of these children and these families? And why no outcry from the media? Why are we just hearing about this for the first time?
Well, part of it, I think, Armstrong, is that lots of groups are not sophisticated with regard to the media. And, the media responds to attention-getting efforts. And when you have basically a boycott, and you can guarantee if you're a reporter, you're not going into Enugu, that's the capital basically of Biafra, because it's difficult to get there, and so they don't cover it. And in part, too, I think President Buhari had done a good snow job. He came here about a year ago during the Obama administration. He spoke at the Peace Institute, of all places, while he's conducting war against his own people. And and you're right, the idea is, well, he's fighting Boko Haram, so we'll kind of squint at all the other things that he's doing. We sell him arms, and from time to time, Nigeria has oil. We have to keep them, like Saudi Arabia, in our good graces to get the oil flowing, and it's a total marginalization of a whole staggering number of people, simply because it doesn't follow into the real politique of the time.
How many people have died?
Well, tens of thousands, and it's hard to keep the numbers there. I mean, if you just look at the row on row of these youths, bloody, dead.
You actually saw?
No, they're the pictures. I just got them in the last 48 hours, where I'm being sent these pictures on Facebook and on Twitter, and some of it is video.
Where's the United Nations?
Yeah, that is a good question. Where it's like Rwanda all over again, right?
It is a genocide.
Yeah, it is. Because the definition of genocide is attempting to exterminate in whole or in substantial part because of your religion or ethnicity. And this is both. It's their Christian religion, their ethnicity is Igbos. They want to destroy them, plunder all of their property. And you'd figure, well, where's the United Nations? Where's the High Commissioner on Refugees and on Human Rights? Right now, he is, at least he's deploring Burma's expulsion of and I don't want to exonerate them, of Muslims into Bangladesh, and this is on a scale that makes Bangladesh Muslims in a tea party.
But you're making President Buhari of Nigeria, you're describing someone who is as if worse than ISIS. Because he does it under auspices of his leadership as a head of state.
Yeah.
I mean, and what he's inflicting on putting the people of his country is nothing like we've seen anywhere.
Yeah, well, that is exactly right. It's really good. I don't know whether I'm a little bit older than you. Maybe I don't look at the effort, the Biafran War in 1967 to 70. 2 million Biafrans died in that war, and it was provoked by similar kinds of sense of persecution and marginalization of the Igbos, in part because Nigeria really should have never been a country that tried to combine Yoruba and Hausa Fulani and Igbos under a single roof. It just didn't make any sense. And what you end up with is the majority oppresses the minority, and especially since historically the Hausa Fulani dominated the military, they had the guns, and so they just shot and dominated by force and violence and threats and intimidation.
But how do we stop, for our listeners, how do we stop the genocide? What needs to happen to stop what's going on in Nigeria and bring it to the world attention?
Well, what I have suggested and encouraging members of Congress, we need to get an international arms embargo on Nigeria. We need to have the UN Security Council designate particular people that should be investigated for the crime of genocide to be tried before the International Criminal Court, which has been done in other cases. We need to get these people who are complicit in the genocide listed. There's a recent law passed in the waning months of the Obama administration. It's called the Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act, where the president can designate people who are implicated in gross violations of human rights for a denial of visas, and their assets are frozen. There's a stigma attached. So those are the efforts that your constituents can recommend to their legislators in Congress and the United States Senate, and writing President Trump directly. Because remember, as President Trump, and especially Vice President Mike Pence, he attended, a world summit on persecution of Christians globally in Mayflower Hotel here in Washington, D.C. in last May, and where he made all these statements that President Trump is going to stand up and against these radical Islamist terrorists who are slaughtering Christians. Well, here's a chance to do so on the strongest scale that's imaginable. And one thing that worries me, Armstrong, among others, aside from the sadness and the compassion you have for these families and people being killed and their lives being destroyed, is if Buhari can get away with this with impunity, what signals does that send to all these other Muslim-dominated radical countries in the Middle East? We don't have any price to pay.
With all the focus on North Korea and its bloody dictator, I mean, this guy also compares in comparison to what's going on in Nigeria. Let me ask you this. Is there a tinge of racism to this? The fact that Nigeria would be seen as a country of Africans. If this were a country where the Buhari was, let's say, a colonialist or a white head of state, would this be a different issue? Do they lessen the value of these lives and the importance of this matter because it's an African dictator?
Well, I think the answer is yes, as crass as that may seem. Well, it's just Africans killing each other, so who really cares about it? Or Zimbabwe, Mugabe, it doesn't really matter. Human rights are only for white folks. And I think that is a commentary on the whole, the racism is still a very, very prominent element and influence, certainly, in international affairs. Because otherwise, in terms of the scale of what's going on there, say this is not a tiny 50 million. That's a huge number. That's probably larger than 3/4 of all the nations who are members of the United Nations.
Bruce Fein, thank you for this critical update. I'm Armstrong Williams, constitutional lawyer. Bruce Fein. We'll be hearing more about this as in the future, and I'm sure this has become your obsession. You want to make sure that the world knows about this before another child has
it gets on the agenda. Absolutely, Armstrong. It's critical.
I'm Armstrong Williams. Thank you for joining us.
They are working. Working tirelessly. So Buhari is not going to go free on all these atrocities him and his gang are committing in Nigeria, especially in Biafra land. Especially in Biafra land. This they kidnap Mazem Nnamdi Kanu. It's a good thing in a way. It's a good thing because it has exposed them. It has exposed this government to the T, where now they're struggling. They are struggling trying to get out of it, but IPOB got them by the balls and squeeze. Every time they move, IPOB will squeeze. Anytime they move, they will squeeze that ball. I'm telling you, at first, everybody was sad because they kidnapped Mazem Nnamdi Kanu. But in this event, it's a good thing because he needs to clear this thing over his head. The international community will not take IPOB serious. If Mazem Nnamdi Kanu is still out there making broadcasts and doing this and doing, they will not take him serious until he clear all this allegation over his head. So in other words, it's a good thing that they kidnapped him. They did kidnap him. So it's a good thing that they kidnap him with extraordinary rendition back to Nigeria. So by doing that, Nigerian government has committed a crime. The whole state of Nigeria has committed a crime. You know, you don't commit a crime to chase crime. If you call what Nnamdi Kanu is doing a crime, then in turn you turn around and you commit another crime. Man, you know, I don't know what to think about you because you don't have it. You do not have it. You do not have it upstairs. And you had a bunch of illiterates around you that can't think. They come out, they make statements like they fools, just like this one here, Lai Muhammad, the Minister of Information, just come out and I'm going to quote him, just spew out shit. Excuse my language. But he said, listen at this. It cost the federal government so much in terms of logistics, security, and welfare to bring Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to court. Are you listening? He said, the DSS is demanding for over 500 million naira per session. So every time they move Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from DSS to court, they demanded, he said, over, not 500 million, over 500 million. So how much are they demanding? Because this is your word. They are demanding over 500 million naira per session. Now you see how crooked they are. You see how they spend taxpayers' money. Then he continues. This was why they couldn't bring him to court the last time. A lot of manpower and security have to be put in place. It's not an easy project. The federal government need to still borrow a little more from China to prosecute this case to a logical conclusion. Oh my God. Look, just listen at that. He said, now, let me say it again. The federal government might need to still borrow a little more from China to prosecute this case to a logical conclusion. Do you understand what that means? Now you see how wasteful they are. But we got a thing coming, just like I said. We got the Allen Group taking the Fulani government to ICC. You got Bruce Pham doing his thing, and you got Carlo, a younger brother to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in UK, and the special counsel to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Aloy Ejimako. They are putting their own thing together. So now, if you look at it, Nigerian government, especially Buhari, he's getting heat, he's getting fire from all angles. I mean, he's getting fire from United Nations. They getting fire from UK. They getting fire from US because another senator from US just came out and exposed more on Buhari, what Buhari is doing, how he's killing the IPOBs. You know, all this is going on the ground, and they're working tirelessly to get this government in order, and they are going to get it in order. See, Biafra is not something to toil with. Biafra is not something to toil with. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a very, very smart man. See, he put all these things in place, just like as if he knew that these people were going to kidnap him. He didn't go turn himself in, they kidnapped him. Just like as if he knew this was going to happen. He pre-planned all this, put it in place, and it's working. So the same thing, you know, it's just like the same thing you need to do for your life, you know. When you're working, put some aside, put things in places so that when you get older, you have something to retire on. Don't depend on the government, you know. It's just an example I'm giving here. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did all this by himself, and he did not let anybody else know what he's doing. He did all this by his own. Then, when he got kidnapped, all these things start springing up. Okay, IPOB and MASOP are the most peaceful agitators in Biafra land. And they are agitating in such a way that all they want is referendum. Split Nigeria. Give us our Biafra, let's go our way. They don't want war. They are calling for referendum. And there's this stupid group. Excuse my language, I'm not going to call them stupid because they're doing their own thing. So far they stay in their lane. Because the only reason why I say stupid was because the video I watched about them, they are not up to 100, and they're calling for war. They have uniform, military uniform, and they have maybe few AK-47, whatever, you know. We don't know what they're made of. Only few of them. And they say they're going to declare Biafra on the 30th, which is tomorrow.
Yes. Biafra National Guard, the commander of the Biafra National Guard. The war for the liberation of Biafra has just begun. Today is day 2 of our glorious week. You can see the Biafran National Guard are already on ground, and they are on the move to go and liberate the prisoners of conscience, Mrs. Oyekachi Oji, and the rest of them. This is Biafra National Guard, and as you can see them, they are all on alert, heading for the move. You can see them in their various vehicles ready for war. The war for the liberation of Biafra has just begun. Yes. Yes. These are the Biafra National Guard, fueling every vehicle that they are embarking, they are going to use for this journey. And this is the Commander General Innocent Oji. So can you tell us what is happening here and what is
happening? We come back from Israel.
That's right.
We want to tell them that other places can never hold. Since they hold, this is Fulani Cabala. That's why we are from Nnamdi Kanu. That's why we come back from Israel. We are from 30th of October, this very boat. Sit at home. We are going to redeclare the sovereignty of Biafra nation. No, nothing pass. God, Biafran pounds, I get here for 30th upward.
Yes, sir. Long live Biafra National Guard.
Long live Biafra.
Yes, sir. Yes, so you can see them. You can see our. You can see them. These are our military, Biafra National Guard, in their various vehicles, and they are at alert, ready to go and free the prisoners of conscience that have been imprisoned for almost 15 years. For almost 15 years. Yes. You can see them fueling their vehicle. Fueling their vehicle. This is one of our commanders. One of our commanders, the Biafra National Guard, and they are on ground to make sure that we free all the prisoners of conscience. You can see a lot of our men on ground. A lot of our men on ground. Ready for war. On Saturday, 30th of October is going to be the redeclaration of Biafran sovereignty. Saturday is going to be the redeclaration of Biafran sovereignty. Yes. Yes.
And they're calling for sit at home on the 30th. What the heck? Nobody know nothing about you. We don't, you know, see, Masop got history. IPOB got history. You don't have history, man. We don't know where you're coming from. We don't know where you're coming from. And please stay in your lane. And I want to make this categorically clear that these people do not belong to IPOB. They do not belong to MASOP. They are on their own. They call them BNG, Biafra National Guard. Good for you. Do your own thing. If you're going to bring Biafra, bring Biafra. But please, I beg you, do not sabotage the work of IPOB, ESN, MASOB, and all the good agitators out there, because they're not calling for war. They are not calling for war. They are calling for referendum. Peaceful referendum, so that we can split. We've lost a lot of people. We don't want to lose any more. We're not calling for war. Please, if you are calling for war, do your war thing. First of all, we would like for you to agitate. Have what you call it, build up a system where we can see your track record. You don't have a track record. MASOB has a track record. IPOB has a track record. What is your track record? As a matter of fact, I just learned about you yesterday. And today, I saw your video, which you are not up to between 50 and 100. Is that what you're going to use to fight a giant Nigerian army? We laugh at you. They're going to wipe you off in a minute. But please do not bring disturbance in our land. We've suffered enough. Izombe, Olo, Umuahia, Aba, Enugu, Mpo. Start counting. We've lost a lot of people. This is genocide. We don't want to add to it. Please, we are begging you. Okay? Do your thing, but stay in your lane. We just want the world to know you are BNG, Biafra National Guard. You don't have any ties with IPOB. You don't have any ties with MASOB. So, do your thing. We are here. We're watching you. I guess you're building your track record. We are watching you. If you perish, if you help us get Biafra, by fire, by force, we'll hail you. But mind you, we're asking for referendum. Referendum. Please pray for Mazen Namdekano. We want him released on or before the 4th, like IPOB gave directives. By on or before the 4th, if Nigerian government release him unconditionally, Mazen Namdekano is the only one that can say he cancel sit at home. If he come out on or before the 4th and he don't say nothing, I believe the sit at home continues. So whatever you guys need to do, you politicians, because we know you politicians, like they have said, are the ones organizing all this unrest, all this insecurity in our land with the security services. They are trying to kill your brothers. And you, the politicians, are trying to kill your brothers. Shame on you. Why don't you take the directives and work with IPOB to release Mazen Namdekano unconditionally so that you can have your election? Now you see what you beat your own finger when you did not vote for that voting in the House. You shot yourself in the foot, because if you had voted for that voting, by now you will not be complaining. You will not be complaining about this election. If they call sit at home, if everybody's going to sit at home, they sit at home with their phones and vote. But now you shot yourself in the foot. You want to eat your cake and you want to have it. Like they said, no election in Anambra State. You should have done the right thing to vote that election, but you didn't. You cannot eat your cake and have it at the same time. So now this is a bone, wishbone that's stuck in your neck. Like they said, no election in Anambra State. People are going to stay home. They are not boycotting your election. They just staying home. It's a stay-at-home order. So that's what it is. I'm gonna go to my next topic. Please, if you're 50, it looks like everything fast track. When you are 60 and over, everything goes goes out of whack. When you are 60 and over, it starts when you are 50, and gradually you may not feel anything. You may think everything is okay, but when you are 60, 61 and going up, it looks like everything just intensify. The COVID, they say it killed a lot of baby boomer. I don't know if you know what I mean by baby boomer. Baby boomer are the ones that are in their 60s. I think 60 and up are the baby boomers. Or maybe 58, 59. But I think it's 60 and up are baby boomers. COVID, the total they gave from last year and this year, COVID has taken out more baby boomers, people that are from their 60s and up. So listen, when you are 60, you are old. No two ways about it. You are not a spring chicken. Your body don't work like it was when you were in your 20s and 30s. When you are 60, you are old. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. There is no person that's 60 that don't have white hair. If it's black, then you dying, you applying a dye. But if you're 60 and over, even some people get it in their 40s, you know. But if you're 60 and over, you got gray hair, you know. So take care of yourself. This COVID is serious. It's killing people. It is killing people. Use your face mask. Wash your hands. Just ordinary soap will do. Wash your hands regularly. Ordinary soap will do. Wash your hands. Use your face mask when you are out there. It don't take but a minute to put it on. When you come out from the crowd, you take it off. It don't take but a minute. But do not expose yourself. Do not, I've just told you 60. A lot of baby boomers have died from COVID. So protect yourself. On my Twitter account, I'm going to post home remedy and things that you can do to protect yourself, especially when you're 60 and over on this COVID. If you haven't had the shots, we recommend that you have that COVID shot, but that vaccine. But a lot of people don't want to have the vaccine. No, that's okay. If you don't want to have the vaccine, you're going to have to maintain and do your home remedy to build your immune system, because when you are in this age, your immune system is not as strong. You have to eat, you know, you know how your metabolism works. It don't work as fast as when you were in your 20s and 30s. You know, sometimes when you eat something, it just stuck. It wouldn't go nowhere. That's why how you gain weight and, you know, you become obese. You have diabetes. You know, a lot of sicknesses, high blood pressure, diabetes, prostate. That's my next topic. Well, anyway, take care of yourself. I'm going to rush to my next topic. Then I'm out of here till next week. Listen, men, please. Women don't have prostate. I keep saying it every week, and week. Every week I say it. Women don't have prostate. When you are in your 60s, that's when this thing intensifies. Please take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. You know the symptoms by now. Like I told you, you don't empty your bladder. You hold on to pee, and that probably will mess with your kidneys and everything else. You know, you keep going to the bathroom every hour upon the hour trying to use the bathroom. Go see your doctor. Talk to your doctor about prostate. And your prayers will be, let that prostate that you have, let it just be, your prostate is enlarged. There are medication to shrink it. There are medications out there to shrink it. That will be your prayers. But if it's cancerous, then they're going to go in, that's if you catch it on time, they run PSA count. And if your PSA count is a little higher, then they can go in and take sample, biopsy, take sample, and go to the lab and see if it's cancerous. If it is, then they're going to have to go in. That's more intense surgery. They have to go in and cut everything out. But you'll still be alive. But the main thing is catching it on time. Catching it on time. That's the main thing. But if it's just enlarged, there are medications to shrink it. And furthermore, you can have a 5 minutes or 10 minutes surgery that they can go in with a balloon, heart balloon, and shrink that prostate, or furthermore, slide that prostate slice it down to size, then you'll be off of the medication. With these two surgeries, there are other surgeries too that you can do. There are several surgeries there, and that will guarantee you another 20-25 years added to your life. So just assume that you're 60-65 when you start having this problem, and you get done with the surgery and you have 20 more years added to yourself. You're looking at about 85. You lived a long and fulfilled life, so that's something to look forward to. That's something that you will be interested in knowing about prostate, to find out what prostate does, because as a man, you're going to have that problem whether you like it or you don't. You're going to have it. So take care of yourself till I come to you next week. We'll continue praying for you. You pray for us too. Take care of yourself and God bless. Thanks. Bye.